the scholarship that was stolen from me. When I was 17, I believed in fairness. Maybe that sounds naive now, but back then I thought if you worked hard, if you sacrificed weekends, pushed through exhaustion, and proved yourself, the world would reward you. My parents weren't wealthy. My dad worked long hours at a factory. My mom cleaned houses. Together, they stretched every dollar until it nearly snapped. But they told me one thing again and again: education is the one thing they can't take from you. So I listened. Straight A's, debate team, science fairs, community service on weekends. While my friends were out partying, I was studying under fluorescent library lights. I didn't resent it. I believed in the grind. And then one afternoon during my senior year, a letter arrived. Congratulations, Alex. You have been awarded the president's full academic scholarship to Westbridge University. I'll never forget my mom screaming with joy in the kitchen, or my dad wiping his eyes behind his glasses. It felt like the universe had finally validated every sleepless night. A full ride, tuition, housing, everything. For weeks, I was on top of the world. Teachers congratulated me. Friends slapped me on the back. The local paper even ran a little feature: local student wins full scholarship. I could already picture my future: the big campus, the lecture halls, the life I would build free from crushing debt. But fairness has a funny way of evaporating when power and money enter the picture. It was April, just weeks before graduation, when my counselor called me into her office. She wouldn't meet my eyes as she shuffled papers. Alex, she said gently, there's been a change in the scholarship program. My stomach dropped. What kind of change? The university reassigned the president's scholarship, she murmured. It's been awarded to another student. I thought I misheard. Another student? But I already got the acceptance. I signed it. She winced as though she was the one losing it all. I know, but the university reserves the right to reallocate under certain circumstances. Finally, she whispered the name Ethan. Everyone knew Ethan. Mediocre grades, party lifestyle. The only thing setting him apart: his father sat on Westbridge's board and was one of their biggest donors. That was the moment I learned merit doesn't always matter. That privilege can rewrite rules in the blink of an eye. I walked out of her office numb. That night, when I told my parents, my mom buried her face in her hands. My dad stared at the wall and muttered, "Figures." We couldn't afford Westbridge without that scholarship. Not even close. My dream dissolved. So I enrolled in a small state college instead. Partial aid, student loans, and 3 jobs to keep me afloat. While Ethan was posting photos from fraternity parties and luxury vacations, I was making lattes at 5 a.m., racing between classes, and tutoring just to make rent. But I endured. 4 years of exhaustion. 4 years of grit. I graduated near the top of my class, not from Westbridge, but with resilience burned into my bones. I clawed my way into tech, starting small, learning fast, and taking risks others wouldn't. By 30, I'd paid off my loans. By 35, I was a director at a growing firm. My parents no longer worried about bills. I made sure of it. I thought I was done with Ethan. He was just a scar, a reminder of stolen opportunity. Until the day his name appeared on my desk. Ethan Carter. I laughed out loud. At first, I thought it had to be someone else, but no. The application had his photo, that same smug grin. He was applying for a mid-level project manager role at my company. I didn't reject him. That would have been too quick, too merciful. I scheduled the interview. When he walked into the room, older, heavier, but still radiating entitlement, he smiled and held out his hand. "Hi, I'm Ethan." "Alex," I replied evenly, shaking his hand. He didn't recognize me. Of course not. Back in high school, I'd been invisible to him. The interview was almost comical. He fluffed his way through questions, bragged about team leadership that sounded more like frat parties, and dropped names like he was scattering breadcrumbs. At the end, I smiled. "We'll be in touch." And oh, we would. I put him through 3 more interview rounds, each more brutal than the last. He failed the technical tests spectacularly, but I gave him another chance. I let him believe he was scraping by on his charm. Then I hired him, mid-level. Decent salary, nothing special, but enough rope to hang himself. From day one, he was exactly what I expected: lazy, arrogant, taking credit for others' work, missing deadlines, rolling into meetings late. His team resented him. HR got complaints, but I didn't fire him. Not yet. I let him flounder for 6 months. Every mistake, every complaint, I documented it, patiently, quietly, Finally, he blew it big. He mishandled a major client project, outsourced it sloppily, lied about the deadlines, and the client called us furious. The blame landed squarely on him. That was my moment. I called him into my office. He swaggered in, smirk plastered on his face. "Hey, boss, what's up?" I slid a folder across the desk, his entire track record of incompetence. "This is your performance here," I said. His smirk faltered. "You had 6 months," I continued. 6 months to prove yourself. Instead, you showed me the same entitlement I saw in high school." His eyes widened. "High school? Do you remember the president's scholarship at Westbridge University?" I asked. The color drained from his face. "That was mine," I said calmly. "I earned it. But your father made a call, and you took it. I went to a state school instead. I worked 3 jobs, and now," I leaned forward, "you work for me." For the first time in his life, Ethan was speechless. "You're terminated," I said coldly, "effective immediately." Watching him walk out with his box of belongings was indescribably satisfying. Not just revenge, closure. He had coasted on privilege his whole life. But when forced to stand on merit, he collapsed. His reputation quickly followed. Tech is a small world, word got around, not because of me, but because incompetence leaves its own trail. That night, I slept better than I had in years. I didn't get Westbridge. I didn't get the scholarship that was stolen. But I got something better. Proof that grit beats privilege in the long run. When I told my parents the story, my dad laughed so hard he cried. My mom hugged me and whispered the same words she had all those years ago. "Education is the one thing they can't take from you." She was right. Like and subscribe and share if this has ever happened to you or someone you know.